Hello out there, Facebook friends and the like. It's Jonathan Bengal, and I'm doing an 8 p.m. Arizona Pacific time, I suppose, a live broadcast of Naked Tax Talk Raw, because I am joined by my fabulous friend, Deborah Benefield, who is going to talk to us a little bit about what it is, what she does, etc. And we're just going to just banter and play with each other and probably have a conversation about coronavirus and how it ain't going to stop us. So without further ado, please welcome Deborah Benefield. Deborah, welcome to my show, Naked Tax Talk Raw. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what is it you do, and all that fun stuff.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you for inviting me to your show. I feel so honored and privileged to be here. I am, let's see, what do I do? I do a lot of things, but a whole lot. But are we talking about business, or what are we talking about here?
So the lovely thing about being raw is that we can talk about it whatever we want. So what's funny is with you, so let me give a little background history here. So Deborah and I, we met each other on a cruise at the Marketers Networking Cruise in January. And I sat across from this most amazing, sexy model at this big, huge round table. And I was just so caught off guard by your gorgeous gowns, your gorgeous jewelry. Like your hair was done up so well. Like you already have a beautiful face. But like, I always just remember just being so caught off guard by you. And I was like, I got to know this woman. And so next thing you know, we became friends. Like we just really became really great friends. Oh, and then just so the world knows, we actually slept together. Not the way you think, did. But we we slept together, and it was a lot of fun in San Diego. And while there, I learned a whole lot about you. And I learned something that, can I share your dirty little secret? You know, can I share? Here's her little dirty secret. Her dirty little secret is she's actually a plus size model. And she like totally has the look. She's got the whole like physique. Like you're a beautiful woman, and I have to highlight you. I have to highlight you here on my show. So you do a lot of things, and you do a lot of things. And so just pick something that like you love talking about and you love doing. And what is the thing that drives you in life?
You know, one of the biggest things I would say that really drive. Oh, by the way, just before I go there, just so everybody knows. So if you want to have pillow talk, like really good pillow talk with this guy, talk about taxes. He can't stop talking about taxes. You think you got some foreplay happening. Oh my God. Like we were up till at least 3 talking about
every night.
And it just didn't, and we just went on, and it was interesting. But I'm like, you know, I really need to get some sleep. We got to get up early for our event.
She fell asleep to me going like la 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 la, and the next thing I hear, I was like, oh, yep, definitely moving on. Next topic. Out. My captured audience was out. Oh, that's hilarious.
I was gone.
That is funny.
So one of my big things. Yeah, I would say one of my big passions has been around entrepreneurship and helping people. I have a background in leadership training, development. I worked for a huge corporation, largest telecommunications company out there. I ran their training department, and so got laid off. And then I was like, what do I want to do? And I realized this whole entrepreneurship thing, and started going down that track, and got into a couple different businesses that I got started and doing. And now I work with a company. I actually work with a couple different companies, but one company I'm involved with is called CEO Space International. And what we do is we help business owners anywhere from solopreneur startup to 5 million, 10 million and above, to investors, ambassadors of other countries, and are more of our platinum members. But we have over 250,000 people in 150 countries.
Wow.
So whatever you're trying to get done, if you're trying to raise capital, if you're trying to network and connect with people, if you're trying to branch your business out international, this is what we do. We do 5 times a year. We go to Dallas, Texas. We meet, we connect. And our whole thing is all about, how can I serve you? What can I do to take that weight off of your shoulders and your back as as a business entrepreneur?
Ah, I like it. So, and the word obviously CEO obviously is really saying, listen, This is the craziest thing. I just said this yesterday to one of my friends and also a coach as well. And I said, here's the thing, and I'll give credit to Sandra Yin of eWomen, who spoke at our chapter, I think it was last month. And I loved what she said, and I've taken it to be my own words as well now. And now I share it with you and with many others. And that is the moment we woke up and decided we were going to be entrepreneurs, we became the CEO of our organization.
Right.
And for some reason, we have this philosophy that like CEO titles is only for someone else over there, out there, wherever there is, not realizing that the entire time we are the CEO. Isn't that the craziest thing? Like, it's just mind-boggling. It's a SIA space International.
And who do you go to, when you're a CEO and you need, some help or support? You can't really go to your employees or everybody. They don't know necessarily what to do or what, you've got to get around thinkers that are thinking like you. So when you go and you're associating with those higher thinkers that are along those lines, or you're in the process, it doesn't matter where you're at, it's a mindset. So, entrepreneurship, you might have 5% of people, I believe, that they've done it statistically are natural entrepreneurs. I mean, to put them in an office, to put them they will go crazy. They have to be out working their businesses, working their companies, things like that. So it's a great group of people.
Yeah, fantastic. And so you mentioned that you guys meet in Dallas, and you said how many times do you guys meet?
We meet actually 5 times a year. And we meet for a week. So we do it's a membership. It's a membership you purchase. You pay one time, and then you get to come back for the rest of your life. You're a member. We can bring as many companies as you would like. So anyway, we meet 5 times a year in Denton, Texas. You are able to come to a 3-day bonus capital class, which actually is fantastic because you learn all the laws, regulations of raising capital for your business. And you can go to jail if you don't know what you're doing. So just, let me take your money and this and that. That's something you just cannot do. So it's really, really nice as far as learning those type of things. And I have a lot of people who wind up leaving there. They're ready. They're all ready to go. They've got all their legal stuff, and they find an investor before they leave. That does happen quite occasionally. Then the rest of the week, we do masterminds for lunch and for dinner. In the evening, we have, a cocktail hour, and then we have a bowling alley next door. So, if you like this guy, Jonathan, I promise you'll love what we do, because we have a good time in the evening and we network and we really connect and really bond with each other. So our goal is, it's not a networking thing. This is, you come in, we want you to make money. We want your business to grow and develop. And just this week, we ran our very first, because it was set up this week in Dallas, our first virtual. And I got on there, and everybody was getting leads and connections, and it was just, couldn't believe it. And some of the topics that they were talking about. So all of this is included in your membership. It's just, it's a great place. Been with them now about 3 years, and I've been a member of CEO Space, I want to say, for about 8 years now.
That's fantastic. And then, and it's interesting because the title of the show is, coronavirus ain't gonna stop us. You know what I mean? Right. And so what you're witnessing, and what I think many of us are now witnessing as entrepreneurs, is how this virus in the last couple of weeks have already begun to radically change the way that we do business. And you take CEO Space, which, when I hear it from you, I heard it from Bernie, there's a lot of pride in this notion that we bring you together and we talk about how to raise capital. We talk about how to get your business to the next level. And personally, I love interacting with people in a real life setting. Like, I love the hugs. I love sleeping next to you and having pillow talk throughout the night, talking about taxes and I don't know what else. Like, I take joy and pleasure in that. And the virus has really changed the way that we're doing it so fast. I mean, it's just so quick. And here's what's interesting. What you said was, you go from a person-to-person, in-person experience. CEO brought it to a virtual experience, and people are still getting the results. Isn't that what we're saying?
And business happens. I mean, there was stuff happening, people giving out connections. What I really loved is we had so many international people that were on. And we have members that, I mean, we've been around 32 years. So some of these members haven't really came to, to a forum in a while, and they're on and they're like, this is great. I forgot how great CO Space was. So it just opens you up to such a bigger sphere of influence. And again, it's not a networking thing. This is where everybody knows what you're working on, what your goals are. And we're on the phone. Let me put you on the phone with so-and-so. Let me put you on the phone. You need this. Let me put you on the phone with so-and-so. That's what we're doing there. And so I because of my training background and because of the just all the courses and things that I've been trained in and went to, and networking things. I was in 5 networking groups before I came to CEO Space. I have to say, I've never been to anything like it. And everybody who comes says they've never been to anything like it either. So yeah, so it's a really great place to come, and happy to talk with you guys. We might do a little mini one, or I think we might do another little mini one next month, not the full thing, but just a small one, just because if we don't know what's going to happen. So we're trying to keep everybody keeping their business, keeping their jobs. This is the beautiful thing about this connection with CEO Space, is that a lot of people right now are not good. They're going to be out of work. I mean, their work is done. It's over. It's done. And so we're showing and giving tips and ways and partnering and with others so that we can all collaborate together. How can we all win? How can we all get through this crisis of the coronas that everybody's drinking?
Yeah, exactly. How do we get? I mean, it's funny that you say that, because I'm like, I think I have a Blue Moon in the refrigerator. I feel like grabbing one. Do you have a drink on handy on yours?
If I had a Corona, I was going to have it right here.
Oh man, that's going to be next time. Next time, we're going to go invest in Corona beer. I mean, listen, the stocks are going to go up. I mean, let's be real here. This is going to be a lot of jokes behind it. Here's the thing I know about you is, since I've known you for a while, is you can tell that CEO Space has really truly done its job in training you how to be the connector. Because even with just having a conversation with you and all the pillow talk that we've had, you were picking up the phone and you're like, you got to talk to my friend here at this company. You got to talk to this friend here. Today we had a lovely threesome, with another guy, and we talked about he's an international tax planner. I mean, I'm US based tax planner. So now you bring 2 people with 2 different expertise, but yet focused on the same, which in our case is law. All of a sudden, the level of what is open to us, the opportunity, is just that more dramatic and that much bigger. I mean, listen, 3 heads are better than 1. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So I'm trying to see if people are reacting and commenting. So there's something I'm learning about these live broadcasts, is that peeps leave comments for me, but I don't necessarily see it. Because I think it's the venue that we're using. So I digress. Listen, this is about doing things raw. So I wanted to also ask you something else. So now, is CEO Space the one thing that you do, or are there other areas that you love to talk about and you love to share with others?
Yeah, there are other things. The modeling thing, I definitely have a passion around that. I actually was supposed to go to something at the end of this month, and that got canceled. But a couple other things that I'm doing, I work with a few different folks. I'll go on projects that I really like, and I have a lot of interest in what they're working on, because I have people hit me up all the time. Do you want to work with me? Do you want to work for me on this or whatever? And so this one particular project I really, really like, and I want to share it with you. Can I?
Oh, yeah, of course. Tell me. Okay. Tell us, I should say.
This has to deal with Costa Rica. Does anyone like to go to Costa Rica? Anybody been to Costa Rica?
Me? No, I have not been.
Well, you're coming. So this is a place it's a very high level, luxurious type of resort that you go to. It's about 231 acres.
Wow.
On it's got about 18 rooms, but it'll hold around 38 people that can go there. It's high up in the mountains. You actually have to fly in on a plane to get in to it. So, all organic food, chefs there cooking for you all day long, cocktail hour. You can come for whatever thing that you want to come to. So I was really passionate about this because I have been wanting to be involved with some things with women's retreats. And it's
Mm-hmm.
been something I wanted to do for a long time. So when this opportunity came up, I said yes. I said I would love to do that because I'm already around speakers. I'm already around in this circle and these connections. And so it was crazy because we're literally like getting calls, people wanting to come to Costa Rica, right at the end, like literally like a day, like come stay with us. You know, we can only hold so many people, and it's so big, so we don't have to worry about anybody getting the virus. But they had shut the airport, down there and here, or
Wow.
whatever. So now I'm getting lots of calls because what's happening is that people are like, well, once we get out of here, where are we gonna go? Like, what are they gonna do? Seriously, like, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going stir crazy right now. Like I'm going nuts because I like to be on a plane. I like to be on a road trip.
Yeah, me too. Now,
So,
wait, real quick, tell the audience though, but where are you now and what kind of restrictions are you under right now?
oh yeah. So I live up in San Francisco Bay Area in a tree house in Orinda.
In a total tree,
And it's
yeah.
super, super cute and fun. I love it. But all trees, and it's just gorgeous. But I'm down in, like he says, I digress, right?
I digress. Yes, I digress. See what happens when you have pillow talk every day? Like,
I'm actually in. I was coming back from. Unfortunately, we had buried a very close friend. I don't know if some of you know Ryan Long. He was the founder of City Summit, which was a big influencer in a lot of people's communities. So I was coming back from his event, or from him. Oh gosh, I was coming back from his service.
That's okay though. Listen, you know, this is what we know. This is what we know about one's passing, right? From one point of view, it could be seen as like the sadness of it all and the loss of life, and the other way around it, it's the memory of life. And
Absolutely.
honestly, you're remembering him as how you remember him, which is you attend his events. And you know, you bring up something interesting because especially now with the virus and the level of deaths that are going around and so forth, like we just got wind that some of our family members might be dealing with it. And even some of the people I know close to me in business are also dealing with it and are directly affected by it. So it's interesting to get the text or the emails that say, FYI, I have disturbing news, and then ... And then we've been exposed. And it kind of reminds me to a time when, I mean, I was growing up in my sexual exploration at a time when HIV, AIDS was the epidemic.
Right.
And in fact, the pandemic. And yet very little was being done. And so I was luckily that in the time I was coming to my sexual age, really, truly, that by the time all this was going around, they were getting better medications and better treatments and so forth and so on. But up until, you know, I remember being just recently until up until 30 years old, that was like your death sentence. I mean, it was kind of like my own uncles who are much older than me, you know, there's this huge fear that should you get HIV, you'll die from it. And of course, naturally, if you don't take action, right, to prevent it and only to treat it if you have it, right? So anyways, it kind of reminds me of that in the sense that people like in the gay community became very, very scared and very conservative about this approach, right? So it was all about safe sex and condom use and, you know, on and on and on. And there was, of course, a period in time where people believed that you could get HIV from toilet seats and from touching people and things of that nature. And then you have this virus, the coronavirus, that is literally that way in the sense of if you have it and we touch hands with each other, you're definitely passing it on. It's like, it's even more dangerous. Does that make sense? And this notion that like, oh, I'm invincible, like it's not going to affect me, it's not going to impact me. It's the same notion of essentially back again in, you know, the early 2000s, the 90s and the 80s of the gay men that would say, I'm not going to get it. And so they would continue to have unsafe sex. And so it's the same thing now with coronavirus. We're saying, listen, people, stay home if you can, you know, limit your contact with other people, because it all comes back to well, I don't think I'm going to get it. And if there's anything that I see from being in the community that I'm in, it's like, actually, we should take this serious. And then like you're talking about, which is here I am, because you're living isolation right now,
well,
mandated.
And so you were asking where I'm at. I'm in Santa Barbara County, which is in a town called Santa Maria, I believe like 9 people in the whole town have gotten it. And they're very few right here. It's right in the central coast of Pismo Beach, San Luis Obispo, that area, Santa Barbara. And so I'm staying here at my uncle's. I was on my way home and a friend said, "Don't go home. You don't understand. It's about what's about to happen here." And sure enough, San Francisco got cut, and then now the whole state is. But what's interesting, I thought, was my uncle today, he went to play golf and he took his daughter with him. And I don't know if he did it because I told him, one of my biggest regrets is that you never took me. None of my uncles ever took me to play golf because I was a girl. Because I was a girl, and they're like, "Well, do you know what golf stands for?" And I can't remember, but it was something about men and not women being there, or something like that. I didn't even know that. I'm like, "Well, that's horrible." And he's like, "I know, Deborah, it's horrible. I know." So anyway, we found out that the golf courses are all open because they want people to get outside and get some exercise, because that's all we can do, really.
Wow.
There and go to the grocery store. And I mean, literally you have to be standing so far away from people. They're spraying everything down. It's really sad. But my uncle brought up a good point. He said, well, they were down there, they were watching families going all over the place with the kids. Well, the kids, everyone's out of school, a lot of people out of work. And I was just thinking, how many times do parents actually get to spend even 2 hours with their kids a day? They're home all day. And we don't know how long this is going to go on for, how long we'll be in this situation.
Yeah.
But it definitely is putting a perspective on things. I think that we most of us should be looking at this as like, wow, let's what can we do to help? How can we help each other? How can we support each other versus going and grabbing the toilet paper and, throwing it in somebody's head or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, or having a toilet paper fight over it. It's interesting because you're talking about something, and I was joking about this with one of the bud tenders, and we were talking about like the virus, how it's shutting things down and so on and so forth. And I said, the positive. Now, I like to think of things in positive lights. And the one thing I was thinking is what if this is like the grand universe's way of saying, yo, you all need to take a mandatory 2-week vacation because y'all motherfuckers be working too much, too many hours, too long, focused on how to crack a nut instead of spending time with your husbands, your wives, your children, your grandparents, reconnecting with your family, your friends. I mean, right now there's this big push to like call up your friends and call up people and hang out online and so forth. It's this weird reconnecting with people. And this is how I almost feel like, this is an opportunity for us to really, truly try to reconnect, we will reconnect with people on a whole different scale. Now, I can't touch you and I can't be cuddly with you on the pillow next to you.
No, you're not cuddly, just so you know.
We were not cuddling. We did it college style. We did college.
We're not cuddling.
we did just for the record, we did it college style. We took a body like pillow and it laid between us. So just for the record. So but it's so it's
funny. Don't plan on cuddling if you sleep with Jonathan. You won't.
I do like to cuddle, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, no, we didn't cuddle. But,
I go the wrong way.
No, you also brought something up too, and I want to comment on it because you struck a nerve. And what you said was your uncle didn't take you out golfing because you were a girl. Yeah. And it's interesting how genders and what we can and cannot do are labeled upon us. And I remember growing up being a young boy who wanted to play with Barbies and wanted to dress up. In fact, my mom doesn't even know this, but I used to take the bed sheet and I would wrap it around like it was a dress. And I would pretend like I was this model and I would be like strutting my stuff, or I pretend like I was this princess and, all dressed up or I'd sneak into my cousins. So I grew up with 4 female cousins and 1 male cousin. And one of my female cousins, I would actually sneak into her room and take her Barbies out and I would play with them because of course I couldn't have Barbies. And yet that's really, really enjoyed playing. And then you bring up this topic of, well, I couldn't go play golf because I was a girl. And it's just,
and it's sad that happens in that way. But my uncle took his daughter for the first time today. She's 16.
There's always a start. There's always a start somewhere. Yep. It's interesting. So, so if I may tie this back to taxes. It's interesting because female entrepreneurs statistically pay more taxes than their male counterparts. It's true that women are underpaid as employees than their male counterparts. And so the really truth is that because you're a woman and because you're a woman entrepreneur, we're left out of the opportunity to save more money and to give less to the government that doesn't want your money anyways. And when I realized and came across the statistics, by the way, by one of your CEO members who shared this information with me, I was truly like, it even empowered me and emboldened me even more to truly help women, because the truth is that laws are always written to favor one group over the other in some form or the other. And in many ways, you know, I've shared this with you before and now the world's going to know, but you know, I came to the conclusion many years ago that women have the ultimate power. And it took me having to have sex with a woman for the first time, and the only time, by the way, for the record. And it was in that moment when I was like, oh my goodness, this is like what straight men are chasing. They're chasing this. And then I realized, oh my gosh, since the beginning of time, men have created laws to take away women's power. And they structured it through law. And so you see this all, I mean, hello, for fuck's sakes, we're debating still about abortion and women's rights. And so, you know, the thing is like, it's been designed this way to penalize. And so there I go, okay, well, that's great. The law's been created to penalize you because you're a woman. How do we break it? Well, you utilize tax loopholes, you utilize tax strategies, and then you go, here, if I can save you more money, now you can go do the things you want to do, and which is like go to Costa Rica, hello, and go to retreats, hello. And Uncle Sam understands the power of connecting with people. He lets you run it off. I mean, this is the beautiful thing. So I want to know a little bit more about Costa Rica. So we talked, you kind of brought this up. So what's with Costa Rica? Why do I want to go? And what is like so special for you that you would want to share with the world?
Well, one thing I'm really excited about is that everybody who has been and the founders of the company that have developed it and created it have made it such a place where it's like one of those places that you will never forget. It'll always be there. It'll always be in your memory because it's so exclusive. And so people will call and they'll want, well, I've got 80 people. We're sorry, we can't hold 80 people. It's really a small group of people that can come. So the people that come, it can be for whatever. I mean, you can come for, if you want to do weddings there, spend the week and do a wedding there. If you want to come and have a singles group come, or you want to come and talk about business, we do have masterminds for business. And so if you want to get with a couple business folks and you guys get your some of your corporations together, or if you want to do like a corporate retreat, then that's a great thing to do. Bring in different people for that. We've got excursions throughout the whole thing. The beach is not that far to go to the beach. And it's really about getting away and just relaxing and just really being able to spend some time with some new people or with friends or learning something new. And most people, I've been to some retreats before. I have definitely been to a few of them, but nothing to this magnitude. So what we're doing right now, and with Synergida is the name of the company. What we're doing with them is we are offering some really cool specials right now because of the coronavirus. So we know it's coming. And so we just today put together some amazing packages for speakers and coaches. And, I've come up with all these different things we could do there, women's groups and, weddings, whatever, gay groups. I mean, whatever we want to do and whatever topic we want to talk about and bringing people in. And so we're really specializing in that. And it's a week. So it's taking a week, getting away, regrouping, especially after all this Corona stuff, and just taking some time out for you. We have spas there. Like I said, amazing food, all of that. So would love to either topic, Synergida in Costa Rica or CEO space, would love to talk with anybody regarding that, and see if you have any interest in that.
And then what I'm going to do here, because I'm in my little back studio here.
Yeah.
What's good contact information for you? How do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, let me just give you guys my cell phone number. I'll just give you my cell. It's fine. It is 707 290 6998.
6998. So I'm going to add the number there so people can see it. So this is how you
Yeah.
get a hold of Deborah personally. Check it out. She's giving you her cell phone.
It's very,
and
so yeah, I don't normally give that out, but we are in the Corona and I can accept more phone calls.
I mean, this is,
you don't want to talk to me, don't take it. If you want to hang out and talk about business and talk about fun stuff, well, then give me a call or shoot me a text.
Oh my gosh. And so, and also you're a Sagittarius, right? This is what we figured out. You're a Sagittarius.
Yep. December 4th, baby.
December 4th, you said?
December 4th.
So she's a Sagittarius, and I married a Sagittarius, and I know, well, you're a little bit different than my husband. My husband would be a little shy and timid in the very beginning, and then he blossoms and just opens up. But I see a lot of similarities in the sense that you guys are very spontaneous, you guys are very fun, you guys are very bubbly, and you just generally really care about people. And you as well. I mean, I've spent enough time with you to know this, that, you know, you genuinely do. And you make a gorgeous model, like, oh my good God. And this woman, let me tell you, she shows up to these events and she's always got something so gorgeous on I said in the beginning of the show, like, you just got some great style. By the way, will you share with how you did that? You actually hired somebody, right? You actually hired somebody to help you kind of figure out your colors and stuff.
So I did. So I actually hired a stylist, going through some changes, just some changes in life. And I've had the same kind of look, black and white, for a long time. Somebody said, why don't you add color? It's going to help you more when you speak on stage, when you're just going to notice such a difference. And everybody, they don't know what it is, but it's something about you. So I went ahead and said, okay. So she went and I had super platinum blonde hair, which I do love my platinum blonde hair. I have to say, I'm like, so she said I need to do more of a strawberry type of thing, and it's okay. But I don't. It's just
you tried it. You tried it.
I tried it.
It's just like sex. Just like sex. You gotta try it at least once.
So what did you say?
I said it's just like sex. You know, you gotta at least try something once, you know, to see if you like it. You know, if you don't like it, you'll never go back. I mean, it is just how it is. I mean,
I've tried every color in the coloring book.
For the record, so have I.
I had to try it.
And it's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, platinum hair. The platinum hair looks really awesome. The bomb on you, for sure. Yeah. And listen, but the whole point is that you actually invested in a coach to actually help you to find your right color palette.
Colors. And yeah, so let me just so this is a red, right?
She's undressing. Caution.
This is a red, right? Well, this red is not the red I'm supposed to wear. It's supposed to be this red. And it goes all the way down to, actually I have her little bag here, but this is kind of interesting. And if you guys want her connection, I have that too. But these are my colors. So these are my new, and she does men too. Beautiful stuff with men. But these are the colors I'm supposed to wear. So when I go match something up, if it doesn't match up with what I've got here, then I don't buy it. So literally I go and put the color just like this. And she went to my hairdresser with me. She did all kinds of stuff. She goes by personality. I mean, what type of jewelry you should be wearing, to what type of glasses, to everything. And fortunately, I'm not supposed to wear black. And she doesn't like me to tell that because she don't want to scare people. But it's true. Yeah. I got rid of almost 9 bags of clothes. And I would say the bulk of them were black. So now navy is my new black. But I do notice everybody comes up, even my makeup had to change, and everybody comes up and says, wow, and I'm more approachable. And I've always been pretty approachable, but now it's even more so. And I think it's not that they're seeing me as a person because I'm wearing the right color schemes.
Yes. My mom by the way, my mom, who I've not seen her on a show live yet. So hi, Mom. I want to say hello to you.
Mom, hi.
So this is my so she says, hi, honey. Now I found out the truth. She says, hi, honey. Now I found out the truth. Yes, I'm hearing everything about you guys. I love you. So this is my mom. She just commented. So thanks, Mom, for watching, because what you don't know, and I shared this even with Deborah, is that, you are my inspiration. It starts with you. And the truth is, I share the stories that, impacted us, especially me as a child, and really seeing it in the lens of, for you, Mom, who at the end of the day, like you simply were doing what you were taught, because of the way you were raised, and you passed that down on to us. And I was actually telling one of my visionary coaches yesterday, and she said something to the effect about, like, what do I call it? Do I call it universe? Do I call it God? Do I call it, this thing? And so I reminded her that, even though I'm not a Christian, I did not necessarily disavow my faith in a God. It's just, my mother says, Deborah, you're a sweet person. Nice to see you.
I hope I get to meet you in person sometime.
and you know what? This is for you, Mom, because now that I know you're watching, by the way, so thank you for telling me that you're watching. Because this is what I told her. I said, if there's anything I can give I can give a lot of things to my mom. I can give a lot of things to her. And one thing I'm so thankful for is that even though she raised me, with a very strict biblical sense, like God is love, God is also can discipline you, and so forth and so on, she still allowed me to explore. And what I mean by that is she allowed me to explore other Christian-based faiths. So, I went to Mormonism. In fact, I converted to Mormonism at the age of 14, and then my mom joined me, and then my brother joined me. But before then, I went to Mass a couple of times, and I was trying to explore faith. And now, working with these new visionary coaches and these new energy coaches and so forth, it's like it's allowed me to explore these other areas of our existence. And more importantly, what I came to understand is that each and every single one of us is a conduit of message, whether it's from God himself or maybe it's from universe itself. It's somehow or another that these messages are delivered to us, and then they're given out to those that need to hear it, that appears to their mind, because every day, every second we're alive, universe is guiding us to fulfill our life's purpose. And Mom, you came on this show right now, case in point, you left me a message. Here we were talking about, I don't know what else just a minute ago. And I see the message pop up, and here I go delivering this amazing message. So Mom, yes, I love you. I still love you very much. And I'm so thankful for you, because honestly, you were a rough mother. Let me tell you, she was a rough mom. But she would always say, I have to be your mom and I have to be your dad. And talk about the burden placed upon somebody that has to, on one hand, attempt to love you and to show you that unconditional love like a mother. And at the same time is forced into being the father figure, that delivers the discipline, delivers the punishment. And so, talk about the burden that one has to carry. But don't worry, Mom, I'm working on that, because this is what I know. And Deborah can attest to this, I'm sure, on her own, is that the way our parents raise us, it's not your fault. It is just the way you were brought up. And now we are then brought into this situation to break out of it. Am I right?
That's right.
Mother, I'm going to get your ass on my show. You're going to come on my show, because my mother's a great speaker. Do you know where I get this from?
Do it.
I get this from my mother. And do you know why? Because my mother, when she would discipline us, Mom, I'm about to talk about the way you disciplined us. So if we got in trouble, all right, my mom had a formula. And in fact, I'm probably going to figure out how to put it in the book, but my mom had a formula. Just so you know, Mom, you had a formula. And the way it would work is, and I base it on severity. So the severity of the crime. So for example, if my brother and I, we were just like, yippering, and my mother couldn't get her peace, we would get 2-3 whippings, and then we would be told that, God loves us and God wants us to respect our parents, so it would always come with this talk. But my mother would discipline us, and we would sit there for an hour and a half, and she would speak to us. So we were a captured audience. And what I did not know at the time until now is that my mother was actually teaching me how to be a public speaker, because she does it herself naturally. Yeah. So I just was taking what she was doing and reutilizing it. And now I give it back to the universe. I give it back to people. So, again, my mother, she's a brilliant woman. She's amazing. She's sweet. She's kind. I have another book I'm working on, and I write about, the shame and the guilt that we are brought up with in life. And
true.
That is the root of all evil, is shame and guilt. And, I remember, like, as a young boy, because we're always told, go back to your furthest memories, go back, not to dwell in them, but to say, okay, what can I do now to make me stronger, to make me more powerful, right? So I look back and the talk of shame and stuff like that, especially like about my mother, comes from conversations I heard about other relatives that would say that my mother was illegitimate, that, you know, she wasn't worthy, she wasn't valuable enough because she gave birth to a child not under the right circumstances. And, you know, I picked up that energy by the things they would say about her. You know what I mean? And so then there was like this sense of shame and guilt that I carried, because it was like, wow, I can't believe, like, you know, nobody loves my mother because they said things they say about her. And now she's in a beautiful place. Now she moved back to Texas and she lives with her sisters and brothers now. And, you know, she's rebuilding that. But to as a young boy and as a young girl, even like yourself, even like my mother's a young girl, we're like sponges.
Yeah.
And we are just constantly absorbing everything that's being said. And because we're so small, we don't understand the things that are coming out of the mouth, that only we're left with is our own interpretation of what that is. And as you know, as I know, as everyone else knows, then we take that, we harbor it. And now we're the ones that walk around with this guilt and shame. And that follows us through our lives, through our marriages, relationships, through our goddamn businesses, you know, and it follows us to our money, and it follows us to our taxes. All of that.
Really, all of it. Just like you said, all of it down to the money piece. I know I just had some blocks taken away, some shadows that I was dealing with over some money stuff. And it had centered around my mom. It actually centered around my mom, actually pretty much being raised in an environment where she didn't feel that she was wanted and needed. And I didn't know that it would stem from that situation, but it led to something else with issues with my dad and jealousy and stuff, and not wanting to see me succeed at certain things, and which I know she did, but she was dealing with her own stuff. So I got the brunt of her. It wasn't jealousy. It was that she needed her dad, and her dad pushed her away as a little girl, and then saw me with my dad. And so it was just, there was just always this thing there. And so now I see I'm more like my mom than I knew, because I got to read a book when she had cancer that I didn't even know. And she's a little powerhouse. Had no idea about that. But I always felt like I was being pushed back in a lot of different ways. So it is true. I mean, it can go all the way to the womb, really, honestly. Child picks up all, they've proven all that, the energy and all of that. The child can pick all that stuff up. So
yeah, it's really, I mean, it's just so, you know, it reminds me of, you know, like Buddha's teaching of this thing called the fog of ignorance. And, you know, we just don't know. And so we're just kind of out there just doing things and, you know, all this fun stuff. And then and only then, when something is brought to our attention, we now become aware. And the moment we become aware, now, in my personal belief now, at this point, I step in, because now I go, this is now ultimate choice, because now I'm aware. Yeah. And then from awareness, I now have a decision. I can either go to the left, I can go to the right. And now I can also decide how I'm going to interact with it. Now, on top of awareness comes one other level that we don't even think about, and that is mindfulness, because now I've become aware. And now I have to practice mindfulness to constantly keep me in this new awareness. Why? Because ignorance is so much more easier to go back into. It's so much easier to be like the hot, steamy shower, you know, I was going to say flames. Who's having sex in those shower rooms? I want to know. But, you know, the hot steam, you know, as it fills the bathroom, you know, it's kind of like that. It's like I have a choice. I can step back into that and let that fog up. But the truth is I can still see the door. I can still see the walls. So I really never can truly be ignorant ever again once I become aware.
That's the key. Yep.
And now that's human choice.
And you gotta let that go. But once the light bulb clicks, you don't have to keep reliving it constantly. Once it's gone, it's gone, and you figured it out. And you know, and it's good to do for anything. Anytime you're going through we're all going through changes, or we're going through something, and kids, relationships, parents, whatever we got going at work, whatever. We always need to ask ourselves, however we're feeling, or if we're in an emotional mood, where is this coming from? Like, what happened? What is triggering this from my past? What was it? And a lot of times we find out that it's something that happened, or some situation we were in when we were little kids, and we don't even realize it. And
Nope.
then we continue that cycle, and then we teach our kids, and everybody just keeps doing this cycle. They don't even realize it because nobody wants to sit and address things. And you just don't know. But when you start looking and you really start getting in tune with you and your body and who you are as a person, and you really start really working on self-care, and you see
Yes.
where these different things are coming from, what age, what situation. I mean, I have a situation that goes all the way back to a boyfriend in high school who told me he broke up with me because I was too boisterous. And
Wow.
I thought that was a bad thing. And that stuck with me, and it kept me, believe it or not, it kept me back from my voice. I mean, I know I can say stuff, but it kept me back a lot. And I
Yes.
never knew that somebody saying that to me could have that meaning and that effect on me. Well, I am boisterous, and I'm proud to be it. And he wound up marrying
Yeah.
a very docile, quiet
What he
woman. And
wanted.
I'm loud. I'm like, here, baby, here we go. And so now I'm super proud of it. But man, I didn't know that was something that held me back through my life. So when you start looking at that, figuring those things out, boy, it just shifts. It's a paradigm shift like that.
It is, it really is. I mean, I've been on this, let's be real. We've been on this trajectory lifespan since the time that we were conceived. I mean, really, right? I mean, the truth of the matter is that's really what all starts. And it's interesting because honestly, in the last now 10, 11 months, I've been on this radical forward momentum moving, like Deborah, you didn't meet me almost 9 months ago. People that have known me from just 9 months ago, when they just met me 9 months ago, they're like, JB, like you are like so radically different in a great way, of course. And part of the reason why I know that is because finally, for the first time, like you and like me, like many of us, we're finally stepping in and going, you know what, bitches? That's right. I am all that plus a bag of chips, and I'm more than that. Like, I'm not going to allow people to say to me, don't come on your show showing your nips. Actually, no, I'm doing it on purpose. Later on, I'll show you one nip. So the thing about it is, like, I'm no longer allowing people to say to me, like, this is how you should show up in the world. And the truth is, it starts, like you just said, it starts way back when, how we should come into this world. Where does it start with? We just talked about it 20 minutes ago-ish, gender. Right there, you can start from that alone. Because you're a boy, you can't play with Barbies. Because you're a girl, you can't play with trucks. You can't go golfing. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking go golfing, and I'm a dude. So, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it goes all the way back to those moments. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's funny because my awareness has brought me to the point of triggers. That's a great word, because I don't know how else to explain it other than that. And way before I started becoming self-aware, I would get angry, frustrated, whatever, and I'd say things, or better yet, I wouldn't. I'd hold it all in until I blew up like a bottle. And I would hold it in, just keep holding. And it isn't until finally you go like, I've had enough. And then you blow up, right? And then that comes out as nasty spew. It comes out as anger, all that other stuff that destroys, well, as Buddha said, it destroys all of the virtuous things you've created. One moment of anger destroys everything.
It's true.
And so in a way, it's kind of coming back and going, okay, how do I now consciously move the trigger and move it to a place where I can actually deal with it? And believe it or not, there are very powerful people I've been working with. And I finally am learning what they mean when they say to lean into it, to lean into the trigger. Why are you being triggered? Where is this really coming from? And then what happens is I get cock blocked, because then I'm like, the fuck if I remember where it comes from? I don't know. It just does. It just is. And then they're so beautiful, patient, right? They're just like, just think about it, Jonathan. Just think about it. Where do you think this comes from? I don't know. But you just have this feeling that comes up. And then all of a sudden, like a big bright light, it hits you. And then you're like, oh yes, it was that time when. And then you can talk about that time when. And like you just said,
good.
we create stories. We create stories based on those memories. And I just now realize
there's true. And that's the thing. They're not true. They're not true at all.
That's it. I mean, it's just like it's not true that I keep showing up like I'm purple and pink like my corporate colors, fuchsia. I'm just saying. Well, Deborah, oh my goodness. So we've been chatting for like 50 minutes practically, and we
Wow.
got some really good, I think we got some juicy nuggets out of this whole shindig.
Yeah.
I cannot say you, by the way, I have to tell you though, when Deborah walks into a room, she's a powerful presence. You can feel her walking in. And you know, what I love about it is that because of the way we put ourselves out, we will either attract the people that are attracted to us, or we naturally repel the people that are not like us.
Right.
And countless people have come to me and been like, this jacket, not wearing any pants on stage, like, I don't get this. Like, what's up? And I say, it's like getting on like a sex app, which by the way, for the record, I've not been on like 11 years, but I digress. It's like going on a sex app or a hookup app or whatever app you want to go on. And it is like not wasting time. That's why I stopped 11 years ago, because I was tired of wasting time and, you know, wasting hours and hours for a 10-minute quickie. You know what I mean? I was just like, this is not worth it. The return on my investment, not worth it. Mm-hmm. And so what I started being really good at was saying, are you down to fuck? Yes or no? I would just get right to it. Just like, phew. By the way, sales 101. Sometimes you just got to get to the close. Is it a yes or a no? And this is what I'm learning, by the way, right now, baby, is sometimes you just need to know right now, are you buying my product? Yes or no? So I was like this on the dating side. I was like, yes or no? Like, are we fucking? Yes or no? And then of course they would either say yes or no, right? And then I don't have time to waste. And so my whole point about this is, you know, in business, it's the same way. We show up, we're showing up right from the get-go, and we're saying, either you like me or you don't. There's no more guessing. You don't need to know if we're going to mesh based on the way we're dressed or the way we're interacting with each other. You know from the get-go. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's the beautiful thing. Where it goes wrong is when we internalize it, we go, oh my God, I can't believe he's dressed like that. Oh my God. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Instead of going, I'm glad he dresses like that. I appreciate he dresses like that, but it's not for me. And that's okay. And then we move on. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple. And then we, on the other end, we walk around because we're walking around proud because we're like, yeah, bitches, you know where I stand. Like, I don't need to waste time.
You know, it's funny you say that about, because I've seen you in your little naked outfit a few times up on stage. It's really cute, actually. He shows more legs than I do.
But, my grandmother's legs, those are her legs. This is for you, Grandma Sarah. May you rest in peace.
You know, I'm 5'10", so I kind of stand out in a crowd, and I wear heels. I love heels. I love to dress up. I love to be, you know, girly. I just love it, especially when I'm going to events and stuff. And people walk up and ask me, you know, similar thing, like, aren't you tall enough? Why do you need to wear heels? Like, I wouldn't wear heels. I mean, I've had people go on and on. You're tall enough and this and that. And it's like, but I like this. Like, this is how I feel good. Like, so it's your issue. Yes. It's not my issue. It's how you perceive. And you got whatever your thing is, that's up to you. But this is how I choose to be. This is how I choose to stand in my femininity. Is this way. And this is how I feel comfortable. And this is how I want to be.
Yes.
So, you know, either, but it's just fun. And I don't think people necessarily even think about what they're saying. Sometimes I think it just comes out and it's like, I didn't even realize it. But why do we even have to go there? Compliment people. If you're not into it, tell them they have a nice smile. So what? Do something every day to change. Yes. And put a smile on somebody's face. And if you wake up with that attitude every single morning, what can I do to make a difference in one person's life today? Yeah. And you smile and you look people in the eye. Do you know, most people don't look people in the eye. You know, they just don't. What can you do to change something positive? We have enough negativity in the world.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Part of it.
Yes, we do.
Be the change maker. Be the person that changes it. And let's all work together and help one another succeed in wherever we're going in life.
I mean, you are talking the truth. You know, I've shared this with you many times before now, because I came to this realization by talking to myself in the mirror. And that is that we are a reflection of self. So what I mean by that is that, like with you, Deborah, like I give you compliments all day long because they're true compliments. And what happens in a mirror reflection, if I give you a positive compliment, guess what comes back at me? also a positive comment, right? Whereas if I say something shady, guess what comes back? Shade. And so the truth is exactly what you're saying is that, you know what, if I wake up with the intention to say something nice to myself.
There you go. In the mirror, instead
in
of
the
saying,
mirror.
why? What? Look at this fat, or look at you got lines, you got this. We do that first thing in the morning before we even wake. What would happen? We just look in the mirror at ourselves naked every day and go, hey, you know what? Those are pretty hot boobs you got going on there.
Oh my God.
Hey, you know what? I got a nice package happening down there. Right? You know,
That's it.
Something positive, or everybody who sees me today is going to want to be involved in what I'm doing. I'm going to make a difference in people's lives. I'm going to change one person's life today if I don't do anything else, just based off of one conversation. No, we get up, we find fault with ourselves, we put ourselves down, and that energy just bounces off of everybody. Then we come home and we're unhappy and we're negative. Then we go to bed, we eat because we're unhappy, or drink or whatever. Then we go to bed and wake up, do it all over again. Look at how blah, 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 I put 10 pounds on, look at my booty. No, wake up, throw those clothes off, walk around your house naked, and be happy. Be happy with that little bit of cellulite on your booty, girl.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Because you and I both are testaments to this, because we both know that there's somebody out there that's going to love that booty the way it shows up. You know what I mean? That's true in business. People are going to love the way that booty shows up in business. Same thing in our sex lives. People are going to love the booty that shows up. And more importantly, we have to love our own booty first. We're the ones at the fall, because that translates into the reflection. Because now the person that you encounter, they're going to pick it up and be like, hot damn, he thinks or she thinks they're the hot shit. I think they're the hot shit. Now there's two of you who think you're the hot shit. Watch out. It's about to get hot and steamy in the bathroom. You know, that's how it works. You know, that is the honest truth. I remember this like maybe 3-4 months ago. That is exactly what happened. I was looking at myself in the mirror, because every day you go, oh, I don't like my crooked tooth, and I don't know about my wrinkles. And, you know, you do this. I have an obsession with my losing hair, you know, because I'm in my 40s-ish. Lies, I will be. But, you know, I have my own little minor obsessions. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And so instead I was like, no. And so I just allowed myself to talk to myself, and I could only say positive things. Like, that was what I told myself. Because this is what I discovered in that session, is that little voice we hear on the inside, that little voice, the one that no one hears but only us, tends to be a little bit more on that negative side of life, because that's what it's been trained to. Why? Because from the moment of conception, it's been trained to think and feel like this. And so it secretly says things to you. Do you know why? Because nobody can fucking hear it. And so it can get away with it. It can get away with saying shitty things to you, because nobody can hear it other than you. So what one has to do is say, you know what, little voice, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No, I am not going to let you focus on my receding hairline. Fuck you. I am still going to verbally say it out loud. And I'm going to say, you know what? I love the fact that you still have a full set of hair.
That's right. Well, and that's the thing that we'll put out there. If you put out that your hair is, you know, receding and you hate it and everything like that, then it's going to get worse. If you put whatever you say that's a negative thing, you're going to get more of that negative coming to you. So you've got to flip the switch. You got to switch it, change it.
That's it, plain and simple. You have to do it, and it starts right here. It starts on our mind, right here. It starts in our mind. Mm-hmm. This is it, right here. Because this is where true transformation begins, is right here in the heart. And you know, I have to tell the world something. They don't know about this, but I'm about to undergo soul surgery, and I'm super, super excited for it. So Dr. Charlene, if you happen to be watching this part of the episode, this is a shout out to you. So I call her a soul surgeon. I make up names, by the way, for people, just so we're clear here. So she's going to be my soul surgeon. And I knew it because universe brought her to me when I was with you in San Diego. And what she shared with me was unfathomably, amazingly beautiful and powerful, to the point that it radically changed my day the very next day. I didn't even know. You know, when you talk about, I'm going to make an impact in somebody's life, maybe perhaps it's just allowing ourselves to be the transmission of universe's message. And in her case, she delivered a message to me
Yep.
that completely radically changed my life. And as a result of that, I picked up the phone. I'm like, how do we do this? And so she was gracious enough to say, I'm a soul surgeon, not her words. I'm paraphrasing. And I said, please do surgery on me. So I'm going to guiltily and not guiltily, I'm going to admit that I'm really excited to go to undergo surgery, a soul surgery. Because if there's anything I've been talking about since I created this thing, it's about falling in love with ourselves again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because everybody around us has told this human body, if we look down at ourselves, they've told all this negative bullshit. But you know what? Who's never ever heard negative bullshit? The reflection in the mirror. The reflection in this video, like me looking at myself right now, you seeing yourself in the video. No one's ever said shit to the reflection. No one's ever been dirty, nasty to the reflection. And so it's pure if we allow ourselves to allow it to speak to us in a conscious way.
I love it.
So that's my share.
I love it. I've had so much fun with you. This has been great. I mean, fantastic.
I've been loving it. I'm like really stoked that my mom was like watching. Like now I get it when celebrities are like, "Oh, my mom is watching the show," or like, my mom saw me. Like I get it now. Like that's a beautiful feeling to feel.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, and this will be, I guess, our final thoughts. We're about an hour now, so I guess we could wrap it up. But
yeah,
I'll give her up.
We were going to do 45 minutes or even 30 minutes. Wow.
I should tell you, this is how I make love. I make love for at least an hour minimum. So that's just how it is. Because why? Because just like we went through stages, right? We went to the little introduction. We had to warm us up, get us a little foreplay, kind of figure it out, and now we're hot and spicy. We're coming to it, potentially a natural end here. We don't know. But this is what life is like. This is what business cycles are like. This is what love cycles are like. This is what sex is like. It is the warm up, moving on through, and then we decided we want a nut or not. So the truth is, we'll know in a minute, but here's what I'm going to say. Deborah, I am so honored that you spent an hour with me. I was jonesing for it. I was really jonesing for, I really was. And I actually made a wish to the universe today. And I said, you know what? I want to talk to somebody for at least an hour on my show today. And the universe brought you to me yet again. So this is a testimony to universe always saying yes. Deborah, what are some profound words of parting? What does your nut look like for our guests? What are some final words of wisdom you could depart with us? I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, you really are, because I'm just like I'm still thinking about the foreplay and the massaging and the cuddling and then we got to get the experience at all. I think the biggest nugget and I really started going through a transformation about last January is that say yes to more things. Say yes to more things instead of no to so many things. And stop being hard on yourself. Stop making your age matter, because it really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. It's really the mindset that you have and that you hold inside. So if you want to be 45 or 60 years old and you're like 80, well, then you're going to be that. If you want to be younger, then you're going to be that. But live your life every day. Enjoy every moment of it. We don't never know what can happen. Make an impact. If you do nothing else but leave this planet and making an impact in just people's lives as you meet them, what a gift. And have a better life. Enjoy it. Make your life wonderful. If you're in a situation, and I don't care how horrible your situation is, get the hell out of it. Get away from it. If you're around the toxicity, toxic people, toxic friends, I don't care who it is, what it is, get out of it. You deserve the best. You're worth it. And that would be my nugget.
You're worth it, baby. You're worth it. You're worth every time, every dollar, every million. You are worth it. Like, we're worth it. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person that's going to love me the most, and that's me. And there's nothing wrong with that. So
no one else can do it. It's an inside job.
It truly is an inside job. I mean, it takes masturbation all to a whole new level. I mean, truly, honestly, you know what I mean? It's about the sensuality of discovering the self. Isn't that kind of interesting? Okay, I thought we were going to be done here, but apparently not. So, you brings up a whole new loop, open loop. We
You
call
can
it
see
the
why we
open
stayed
loop.
up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God! So
Talking about taxes.
a whole new open loop here, because isn't that interesting? Because what I was saying was about this masturbation and about love and everything else. And isn't that sad that the moment we discover this thing of masturbation, we're immediately made to feel ashamed of it? It's almost like we're made to feel ashamed of being in love with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that's
Mm-hmm.
deep. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. That is deep.
That is just, that is messed up on all kinds of levels. But it also makes sense, because if I'm in an institution that needs to control you, I need to break down your sense of self.
Yeah.
I need to take away your sense of power, so that I can control what you're thinking and what you're doing. I mean, this is the truth. And now, luckily, we live in an age and a period of time in life where we can truly begin to look at ourselves and say, maybe I am God. Maybe I am Jesus. Maybe I am Buddha. Maybe we are all these things. And for the first time, then, we're allowed to love ourselves again, regardless of what we do. Regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and at the end of the day, that guilt and that judgment and that all of that is it unfortunately we all have some of that, and we have to fight through that. We really do. But in the big scope of things,
I mean, we really do. Maybe true enlightenment is when one finally goes, I'm done with it all, in the positive way, right? Like,
yeah.
Fuck it all, man. I'm gonna say my 2 cents from the beginning, or I'm gonna, say yes. I'm gonna say more to the no, because what's interesting is that there's power in saying yes, and there's also power in saying no. And
This
for
is
me,
true.
the power of the no is honoring yourselves and your barriers and your own sense of what I'm willing to do. Does that make sense?
And I like that. And I like that. I was the person that would always say yes to everything and wanted to say no, but then I would say no to things I really wanted to do, that I really wanted to do, but because of guilt or regret or whatever was told to me that you can't do this, you can't do that, I was always no, but I really wanted to do something, but I said no to it. So but you're exactly right.
It's a dual-edged sword. What you're saying is a duality of both worlds, because one hand you're saying yes to the dress and you're saying no to the prom. I mean, this is kind of what we're doing, right? I mean, and it's about our sense of value, because we're saying yes to the things we want to do, and we're saying no to the things that we don't want to do.
Yes.
And there's power in that. So, all right, Deborah, I'm gonna let you go, because it is 9:11 p.m. and I gotta get some sleep, because this thing does not stay young without it.
I agree. All right, sweetie. Love you.
I love you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mom, for being here. Appreciate it, and everybody else who sees this. And until next time. So listen, one last thing. If you would like to get here and be on my show, if you'd like to talk more about how one can finally let go of all this bullshit, or maybe better yet, how to improve our tax lives, let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com, and let's have a conversation. If you're liking this episode or you like my episodes, don't forget to subscribe and hit the alert button if you're on YouTube. If you're following me on Facebook, don't forget to hit the like button. And better yet, if you can refer me to your friends that might like my show, have them also come over and hit the like button. By the way, FYI, I am launching a book called The ABCs of Deductions, which is going to be an entrepreneur's guide to write-offs. And then I'm going to be offering a 6-week course called Write-Off Mastery, which is going to take us from our old tax beliefs to new tax beliefs. So that's going to be rolling out in the next couple of months. So that's big. That's coming out. And so we're about to get naked with a lot of people and bear down to the naked truth about your tax life. So once again, Jonathan Bengal here, the host of Naked Tax Talk, joined by Deborah Benefield of CEO Space and also of Costa Rica for your retreats. She wants to have you get on the DL and slip into the DM with her and go 707-290-6998. And otherwise, I've had a blast with you. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show. Thank you to all my viewers and all my subscribers. Without you guys, life would just be boring and I wouldn't have an excuse to get naked. So with that in mind, Bonne nuit. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you guys later. Okay,
Thanks.
time to
Bye,
end this. I
everybody.
gotta put an ending track on this, but until then we just go. We make up things like doop boop.